Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Blood and Fire, Dawnbringers, Heart of the Nightfang Spire, Season 4, Episode 8. Dawnbringers is a regular campaign happening every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. And I am so excited to once again be gathering with all of my lovely friends to play this game where I torture them by putting innumerable doors and empty rooms in their paths.
That's true.
We are in our 4th season of playing this. You can catch all of the 3 previous seasons: the Sunless Citadel, the Forge of Fury, and Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I was trying to put seawater in that title for some reason. The Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And now they are hunting down the vampire Gulthias in the Heart of Nightfang Spire. So we're going to do a couple of real quick announcements, and then we are going to get into playing this game. So first and foremost, if you look down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see some logos there. We are a proud partner with Jasper's Game Day. You can type in exclamation point. I always call it an explanation point. Exclamation point Jasper at any time, or you can go down below the stream in the tiles that are there. Click on the link that says Jasper, and you will be taken to the donations page where you can directly donate to Jasper's Game Day. And a charity started here in Michigan, but it is a national charity in which they are dedicated to the raising awareness and prevention of suicide through tabletop gaming. Any money that is raised for them specifically goes toward crisis lines, teen suicide crisis lines, educating school administrators, teachers, and the like, and funding crisis centers around the country. Another way that you can give to Jasper's Game Day is by typing exclamation point coffee and seeing that link there. We have partnered up with Initiative Coffee Company to bring you Metadare Roast Coffee, a wonderful medium Brazilian and Peruvian roast coffee. It's absolutely delicious. Go ahead and get you some of that. And every bag that you purchase of that, $3 is going to go to Jasper's Game Day. Looks like we got gift subscription from Dwight there, the big bearded nerd, which means you're going to get a domain die. I'll explain domain dice in just a moment. Thank you to D&D Beyond for granting us insider access. That is why I run all of my D&D campaigns using D&D Beyond. And you can mouse over the stream at any time, and you can see all of these characters showing up in the sidebar to see what classes and levels and all the good stuff about their characters there. One other icon I forgot to mention in the lower left-hand corner, coming fresh off from a highly successful Kickstarter, is Talon Claw. Our friends over there have partnered up with Mini Terrain Domain to bring you quality wooden gaming accessories such as DM screens, dice vaults, trays. They've got what are they called? Wooden. It's been that kind of day, friends. Wooden dice as well. And even though the Kickstarter is done, you can still go in and pre-order the Whiskey Barrel Dice Vaults. Dice Vaults made from the barrel lids of actual barrels in which whiskey has been aged. I am so excited I now have 2 reasons to be excited about September. If you want to know what the second reason is, you should be watching all this weekend. You should be watching D&D Live over on the D&D Twitch channel, because they just announced the new campaign, or the new source book and adventure book, and all I'm going to say is there's a good chance you might be seeing it here on Mini Terrain Domain in the future. Rime of the Frost Maiden. And I'm going to spend some extra time twisting some things around so Dan has no idea what in the heck's going on. And V. But yeah, that was really exciting to see that. So let's see. Domain dice. Look up above Dan and V. You're going to see a whole bunch of those things sitting up there. That's you, the audience, granting benefits to the players in the form of re-rolls called domain dice that they can use to re-roll their d20s. They can force me to re-roll all the way up to super criticals, 5 domain dice to turn a hit into an automatic super crit, which is a double max damage critical hit. And those have been used multiple times. So don't be afraid to throw a $5 tip, throw 500 bits cheering, subscribe, resubscribe. If we get rated, I'd like to throw domain dice out there as well. So all ways in which the community is funding. See that? Somebody just subscribed. Gaz 2742. That's how that works. You subscribed and watch. Right above V, there's another domain die. It's that easy. So the last thing I want to mention to you before we get into our couple hours of escaping into a fantasy world is just letting you know that we know that it can be tough out there, especially the way things have been in the world the last couple months with quarantine and numerous other things that are going on. It can make it difficult for you with anxiety, depression, numerous other things. Regardless, though, you need to understand that you matter. No matter where you are, whether you believe it or not, you matter. And there are people out there that are ready, willing, and able to talk to you, trained professionals. And that is why at any time during any mini terrain domain live stream, actually, even if we're off the air, you can come in here, type !help into the chat, or you can look in the scroll down below, and you will find the National Suicide Lifeline along with some Canadian numbers for our Canadian friends, and you will find a link that takes you to the website opencounseling.com/suicide-hotlines that has links for suicide hotlines around the world. But if you need to talk to somebody right now, you can call the National Suicide Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. If you are a veteran of the armed services or you are active duty, military, whatever, you can press 1 after dialing that number, and a counselor specialized in military personnel is waiting to take that call. You can also text 741-741. With that, I think we have gotten through all of our announcements. It's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so you have the Dawnbringers have been making your way through the Nightfang Spire, the place that you have been taken, and that you were led to seek out the newly risen vampire Gulthias, who you have recently learned seems to be amassing an army of undead around him, all as also members of a cult of dragons worshipping the dragon Ashardalon, who has a familial connection to Cantriel. And the name Ashardalon has been popping up with increasing frequency since your first foray into the Sunless Citadel so many months ago. Recently, in dealing with some vampire threats, you found a young woman named Yesha, who was on the brink of death, having been set aside by the vampires in their pantry, a macabre place full of the dead and apparently one person who was dying. But the Dawnbringers banded together, and through teamwork and magic and determination, they were able to heal Yesha and then they were stuck with, well, now what? We have this fragile human woman with us. We can't just turn her loose. So she is tagging along, chronicling the adventures of the Dawnbringers, and just recently has proven to be quite useful, as it was determined or discovered she was hiding some thieves' tools that she's quite adept with in her journal. She unlocked a door. Well, first, you traveled through several rooms. A record-breaking 20 rooms were discovered by the Dawnbringers. We've had sessions where they only went through one room at a time, so 20 was pretty significant. And they found a whole lot of nothing. There were a few treasures you picked up along the way, some gems and some platinum, a lot of empty coffins, and eventually you dealt with some shadows and a shadow mastiff that you were able to dispatch fairly quickly. You found a stair leading down, and Thorgarn led the way through room after room after room, where the thing that was always aplenty was doors. In fact, Thorgarn was so into opening doors, he almost opened a door in the floor, falling through a trapped chute that he just caught a glimpse of was lined with razors, but avoided that one. Eventually, Yesha unlocked the door for them, leading into the room in which they now find themselves. And we are going to pick up at that point. We didn't have Jeremy with us last week, so we're glad to have you back, Jeremy. And we briefly lost Dan at the very tail end of that. So I'm going to recap this last room as you walk into it. I need to open something. I forgot to open my maps. Oh, why can't I see my maps? All right. So you walk into this room that is essentially, I mean, a circular tower doesn't have corners, but we're going to call it the southwest corner of the circle. This room is about 25 feet on a side for the northern wall and the eastern wall in which you have entered this room. The southwestern wall, I think I said north earlier, the southwestern wall is curved, and it is on this wall that this massive tapestry resides. This tapestry depicts a scene filled with large, horned, red-skinned humanoids in the foreground, and in the background, brass towers suggestive of a massive city rise high. All around the city and these draconic beings, everything seems to be ablaze in an inferno. High above, taking up the entire upper half and entire width of the tapestry, an unbelievably large red dragon wings through the fiery sky. As you stand there looking at this tapestry, you can almost feel the heat emanating from it. You can smell the brimstone. You can hear the distant whooshing sound of the massive dragon's wings. You can almost hear the cries of anguish from the draconic individuals in the foreground. What would you all like to do?
Well, first I'd like to find my mouse. Sorry. Right, so that doesn't mean we have to go there, does it?
Difficult to say.
I mean, large city, mad dragon. Not exactly someplace I'd want to end up.
It's really not all that different from a lot of the things we've been dealing with. I mean, have you taken a look around lately?
What, something's different?
We're not exactly laying out in a sunny field with little bunnies.
When have we ever? And there's a whole bunch of doors. We seem right on track right now.
That's my point. It just looks like a different version of the same things that we already do.
There's no doors in the picture.
That's true. Although, a city made out of bronze, brass, whatever it is.
Of course you'd go there.
That looks interesting.
You're thinking about how to fill your pockets.
With brass?
Well, sometimes he does.
I do?
I do.
See?
The brass is usually left behind. It's the gold, the silver, the platinum, maybe?
Did you bite on the gold to make sure?
If they're willing to make their entire buildings out of brass, well, I'd like to see what the tables are made of.
Probably more brass.
I'm sure there's a door around here somewhere. He kind of wanders off to go try to find like an end to this conversation.
Because he knows.
One would think if a city is made of metal like that, I am curious about the smiths behind it.
That's actually a fair point.
Oh, he doesn't get a rebuttal. I see.
No, because he's Thorgarn. You're Talmud.
Well, thank you, Cantriel.
I call it as I see it.
What is this place and where is it?
Fig, you have any thoughts on this?
Some sort of brass city.
Fig, you can make an intelligence check if you would like. And Cantriel, you can also make an intelligence check. You would be making yours at advantage. I think we discussed this last week because of the book that you have in your possession.
I got an 18.
Okay.
I keep losing the mouse today. I'm sorry.
I know that feeling.
Okay, that's a 23.
Fig, you recognize this from... You've actually seen a variation of this artwork in an illustrated manuscript in Copernicus's library. It was in a book discussing the various elemental planes, in particular the plane of fire, and in the section talking about the city of brass. That is a major city in the plane of fire. Cantriel, you have no doubt in your mind that this is a depiction of a Chardalon and his cultists. Whether or not this is depicting where he actually is or is an artist's rendition is unclear, but you have no doubt this is a Chardalon.
Well, it's definitely a Chardalon and his little minions.
I believe it is in a place they call the City of Brass.
Not very clever with the names, are they?
I think it is quite straightforward.
True.
We know how to get to this place. I mean, we know that at some point in time we have to deal with this figure. And if we know where he is, that makes things a lot easier.
I have read about different planes before. That seems like that is what this is. Not exactly
How is this
somewhere we can walk.
How is this tapestry hanging up there, Jake?
It is the exact fastening mechanism is. I mean, I don't know. However, they hang
It's
tapestries
usually a bar
and
that's
castles. I was saying, yeah, it's probably like.
it's usually on a bar and then it's stuck into the walls with a few.
I suddenly realized I
such.
have no idea how they actually attach tapestries and castles, but
Iron-
however it
iron,
is,
hooks
that's
in the
how it's
bar.
hanging there.
That's how. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I was gonna say, wait, you and Ted have been to the castle. Have been to a castle.
Yes, I've been to a few. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean it's hanging in pretty typical tapestry fashion.
And how big is said a thing?
It's about 20 feet wide, and it's about 10 feet tall.
It's not something that we're gonna just roll up and take out of here.
I mean, it looks like you could.
Wouldn't it be heavy?
Put it in my hat.
Would it fit?
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Just the way I'm said it, I love
Put
it.
it in
I
my
put it in
hat.
my hat. Like, duh.
If you wanted to, it's something with working together. You would be able to get it off from the wall, and you could roll it up if that's what you wanted to do.
Thorgarn will toss that idea out there and see what the rest of you all think.
Sure. You want to take it down?
Why not?
All right. Can I reach the fasteners or fittings on what's holding the tapestry to the wall?
You can drown. Excuse me.
Yes.
Pardon me. As
Go
you
down.
walk up to the tapestry, and you begin reaching to unhook it,
Uh-huh.
you notice that the heat is much warmer up close. You like you can feel tremendous heat emanating from this thing.
Alright.
And
like, does it feel like fireplace hot or just,
it feels like standing on the hearth, fireplace hot.
Okay, I'll carefully hold out my hand toward the tapestry, not quite touch it, but just kind of gauge the heat, like if you hold your hand over a pan to see if it's hot.
As you reach out, all of you would see as Drown's tattoos begin to move of their own accord. And Drown, you watch as
That's
tentacles begin to rise off of your arms. And they almost seem to be recoiling away from this as they lift up off of your arm, and they began to sort of move backwards away from the heat source. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okie dokie. That is a 16.
You feel the heat pressing in on you. You begin to hear the chants and the guttural speech of Draconic. You can actually hear the roaring flames, and you can hear the beating wings in the distance. You can hear alarm bells sounding from this city of brass. You can hear tormented screams. And you all watch as Drown is pulled into the tapestry.
Yeah.
You see Drown in the tapestry as if he was always woven in there.
Just gonna mute this mic for now. Then.
Is there anything in the room like that I could pick up and throw?
Maybe some loose stones.
I throw some stone into the tapestry to see if it goes and sticks.
All right. You throw the stone. I need you to make a wisdom saving
Not
throw.
where drown is. I'm going to clarify that
Nope, that's-
statement.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, sorry.
Roll high.
Wisdom?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's a 14.
You all watch as Cantriel picks up this rock and throws it.
No.
And as the rock begins to hurl towards the tapestry, it begins to glow white hot and shatters. The stone fragments pull back, and you see almost a comet-like trail from where it threw. And these shards come back, and they grab your hand, Cantriel, and you're pulled into the tapestry.
Hi, drown.
Is there any way of like grabbing her, or is it that fast?
It's in an instant.
After that, Thorgarn doesn't think twice. He jumps right at the tapestry.
There. All right. Cut to Fig alone. All of us in the tapestry, just reaching for a stick.
Well, first Fig is going to write down in his notes, making really nice drawing to remember you all.
I imagine Fig looks down to make some notes, looks up, and everybody's gone. Like, wait, what? Thorgarn, you're just gonna run at the tapestry.
100%.
Okay. I need you to make a wisdom save, but you can fail it if you wish, if your intent is to go into the
Yeah, my
tapestry.
intent is to go in.
You watch Thorgarn run and jump headlong, and it almost looks like when you killed in the past. By past, I mean in the last day that you've been in this tower. Every time you kill a vampire, they sort of burn up like flash paper. And it looks like Thorgarn just burned up. You actually see singed hair. You see glowing ember-like skeleton. And then suddenly, Thorgarn is standing there alongside Drown and Cantriel. Griveth, Talmud, Fig. You are left in the room.
Who's next?
What are they doing in the tapestry? Like, are they moving, or are they like just
So we're gonna
They
do
just part
we're
still.
gonna do a cinematic thing as Thorgarn jumps in, and we see from your perspective as he sort of dissolved away. Imagine the camera sort of moving sideways and then looking straight at the wall, and you see it pulls around, and Thorgarn just out of nowhere hits and tumbles into the ground and emerges standing next to Drown and Cantriel. Drown and Cantriel, what are you doing? You're surrounded. Within about 20 feet of you are about half a dozen or so draconic cultists, dragonborn cultists.
Oh, crud.
A Chardalon
buckets.
is in the sky, easily within a mile or two of you. Flames
Oh,
are
this is a
everywhere.
nobody nope. Everywhere?
You're in the elemental plane of fire. Flame is
Here.
everywhere.
Flaming everywhere. Great.
So
This is fine.
first things first, I will look behind me. Is there any portal or tapestry or door or anything?
You looking around, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Can I offer assistance to give him advantage?
Sure.
Nat 20. So that's a 25.
Then you are 100% certain you do not see any sign of an exit.
Fantastic. That's well then. How are the Dragonborn cultists reacting to us? at the moment?
Let's find out.
You know, that will like their general demeanor at the moment will sort of.
So on the
dictate
outside, is it kind of
how I
like stop
respond.
frames? Like they're in the tapestry and then like they're turning to the
For the moment,
guys a second ago and it's like
for the moment, you just see that they appear to have been woven into the threads as if they were always there. They are standing heroically. With those rolls, all of the cultists noticed your arrival. They all got let's see, that would be, they all got either a dirty 20 or a 19 on their perception. So you, as you're sort of wondering, Drown, whether or not they've seen you, yet they all sort of turn in time with you hear off in the distance, but it's just everywhere. You just hear this of a Chardalon, and they all turn as one. And in closest proximity to you, there are a total of 11 of these dragon cultists that are within about 20 feet. They all turn around, every one of them pulling out bladed weapons, and some of them you see their throats beginning to burn with, as if they're about to ignite flame.
Cool.
This isn't fun anymore.
Back in the room, Talmud, Fig, and Griveth, what are you doing? Thorgarn has just leapt into the tapestry.
What do we do about this?
Has everyone lost their minds?
Yes.
Apparently.
Talmud is like dumbstruck, just watching where Thorgarn was standing, and like now he's like run and jumped into the wall. And he's shaking his head.
Yesha has that look. She looks like that Nathan Fillion meme, just sort of going.
Can we dispel magic on this thing long enough for them to escape?
Talmud's just gonna look over at Fig, like that's clearly not his territory.
Yeah, Fig just kind of like shrugs.
I can actually cast dispel magic. So if I think this could work?
You can certainly try.
That's not good. I can't even say it straight face.
No, it was just the question, the way you phrased it. Do I think this will work? I don't know. That's not how D&D works.
Jake, are we boned? Yeah.
You have to ask?
Remember when I said I had a crappy day? And I was so happy.
So you're taking it out
And I
on
was
us?
so
God, I'll give
happy
you a dragon. Do you want a
to see
dragon?
all
No,
of my
no,
friends.
That's fair.
Hey, I gotta ensure somehow that we get to play the new campaign. I'm just gonna wipe everybody out here.
If you TPK us, there's no. Mm-mm.
Okay, I have a cool idea. Whether you allow it, Jake, it's of course up to you. But my idea is to try to resist the pull of the tapestry. Try to resist the pull of the tapestry, and cast dispel magic on the tapestry, and actually put my hand through the tapestry, and that my friends can grab and pull back out of the tapestry. So I
Okay.
would have to do a saving throw, dispel magic, and then then they can grab my hand or my arm, and I'll pull them out.
Okay.
Cantriel may not.
I'm like Talmud, grab my arm.
Or they might just
Grab
end
my
up
other
with your arm.
Pull me. So I'm gonna do try to do like a human chain and like pull them out.
Yeah, Talmud will reach out and grab a hold of his gauntlet with like both of his hands and just kind of like start leaning back, expecting there to be some kind of force.
I
Oh
think
God. Oh God.
I think
This
Fig
is-
also grabs onto Talmud, but Talmud's very small, so
True.
mostly like grabs onto his like head almost, and like upper chest area.
Just, like, over his
He doesn't
face.
really-
My neck, not my
Fig, what are you doing?
On his head like
Not
a
the beard.
basketball.
Yeah.
Not the beard.
Compact.
beard.
God forbid, not the beard.
It's not a good handhold.
All right.
So what do I have to do?
So you have this human chain, and Fig, you would feel as Yesha actually puts her arms around your waist, seeing what all of you are doing. Maybe not fully understanding, but so
This is a conga line of doom.
Griveth,
Yes.
As you reach towards the tapestry, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
You got it. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, 24.
That's a good show.
You feel the heat searing at your hand. You can see that your hand is actually starting to glow. It looks like the flesh is beginning to blister. But you are not being pulled in. We are going to transition through the close-up of Griveth's blistering hand to the blistering heat inside the elemental plane of fire as Drown, Cantriel, and Thorgarn. I need you to roll for initiative against
Oh, son of a motherless
11
goat.
cultists.
Fair
And a
enough.
partridge in a pear tree.
All right.
Really?
Thorgarn, what you got?
19.
All right, so 19.
I'm gonna burn a domain die.
Go for it.
All right, burn and
Whoa, that's good. We'll go from a natural 1 to a natural 20. Oh,
All right, so
Nice.
this
That works.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, Cantriel, what'd you get?
17.
17. And Drown, what'd
Yes.
you say?
22.
22. All right, I'm going to roll for my baddies.
Oh, and we're still on the same day, aren't we?
Yup.
Let's see.
Session
So,
6
this one.
Of this day.
This is the never-ending sessions.
We usually need. We definitely need to get a union on these work
We do.
days.
Yes, please. I demand it.
Dawnbringers unionize. Dawnbringers
Completely.
local. I'm not sure.
Just the one.
Oh, I can't do that in spell slots.
Initiative is 0. All right. Okay.
Okay.
We've got Drown at the top of the order, just as it looks like a good portion of the dragon cultists seem to be gearing up for a fight. Drown, what would you like to do?
All right. Drown will slam his driftwood staff into the parched, cracked, smoldering ground, and water will begin to pour down it that starts to immediately sizzle and boil off into steam, and all the little coral growths will pop out on the shaft of the staff, and a eruption of water in a ring 20 feet diameter around us will surge, boiling and spitting out of the ground 10 feet high. Sorry, 20 feet high. So a 20-foot ring diameter, 20 feet high, 1 foot thick wall of water.
Surrounding all of you.
Surrounding us. Yep. So the wall is difficult terrain. So it'll cost them, 10 feet to get through it instead of just 5. And ranged weapon attacks that go through the wall have disadvantage, and fire damage is halved if the fire damage passes through the wall.
All right.
So that's what I got for now.
Uh-oh.
Would we lose?
We lost
Ted.
Ted.
Oh,
no.
no.
Yeah, he froze just a minute ago.
Roll,
And then
Gibber.
Shoot.
He got
Oh,
sucked
hold
into
on.
a tapestry.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. I have no idea. Why does that always happen to you, V? No matter what window you're in. Jeremy's trying to peer up. There you go. So I think
I'm done.
Oh, there we go.
We
Yeah,
decent?
he's back.
Somewhat.
oh no, Jeremy froze. All right, Jeremy, turn your camera off and back on again real quick.
No, he's good. He's good. I think.
Nope, the two of them were swapped.
Oh,
Okay,
I
I
apologize
see.
about that.
so what happens with your wall of water if somebody passes through it? Do they take any damage?
It's just difficult terrain.
Okay.
So it's mostly a defensive.
You said it was
attacks.
10 feet thick or 5 feet thick?
1 foot.
It's only 1 foot thick, but it's
Oh.
difficult terrain. So
All right,
so its space is difficult terrain.
you watch.
So it costs them double.
Let's see, so 5. I think there's 5 of these ones. Nope, 6 of these ones. You watch as 6 of the dragon cultists walk forward you see them sort of silhouetted against the water. And then you watch them step through the water. The water turning to steam around them. All 6 of them are going to step in around the 3 of you. 3 of them are going to breathe fire at you.
Of course they are. 1
at each of you. Drown.
I was hoping they were a little farther away. Oh.
Yeah,
they were described as being 20 feet away from you.
Right.
A 10 is going to miss you.
True.
This is not typical what you're used to seeing from dragon's breath, from a dragonborn. It seems to erupt in front of them, and they actually, you notice as they sort of hold in front of them, they hold up a glass orb, and as they breathe onto the orb, the flame erupts from the orb in a line aimed at you, Drown, but it misses, the flame turning to steam on the other side of you. Cantriel, the one comes in, and it looks like he's not even able to get his breath weapon to fire off. I rolled a critical failure.
Because I'm breathtaking. There you go.
And then the one against Thorgarn, that's going to be a 16 to hit. So you're all lucky on that count. The other 3 are going to come in, and each one is going to attack each of you twice. They come in with short swords, and they are going to, they're going to attack twice at advantage. So Drown, that's going to be these dice, come on, you're banned. That was a 4 and a 2 on the die, so an 11 and a 9 for the first attack. The 9 was the high one. The second attack is there we go, 26 to hit for that hit.
They have advantage from something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
There's 6 of them. They have pack tactics.
Right.
Like you do. Well, I mean cults, that makes sense.
Yep.
They drink the Kool-Aid together.
There it is. That's the other thing I wanted. They also can do, so they're going to do 3d6, 1d6 of sword damage, plus 3d6 of fire, and because they are fanatical, they can do an extra 3d6. So you are going to take 7d6 plus 3 damage, mostly fire. That is 7, 10, 16, 21, 22, 23, 24
You're guessing my age,
points.
you've gone too high.
24 points of damage to you, Drown.
Ouch.
And this was from a sword, a short sword, that as it flails around, it seems to burn you as it attacks. Cantriel, that's going to be a 26 on the first hit, and a
Reroll.
25 on the second. All right, so I'll re-roll the first.
Reroll.
Okay, the first one becomes an 11.
Doesn't it?
Do you want to re-roll that second one?
Hell yeah. We have the dice.
That second one becomes a dirty 20. No, a 21. Which I think is still going to hit you. So you're going to take the same 7, 5, 6, 7. I'm using my Dawnbringer D6s, my Nerdarchy D6. Oh, there's a Dawnbringer. 6, 10, 20, 24, 27 points of damage to you, Cantriel.
Oh, fine.
And Thorgarn. That is a 19 on the first hit, or first attack, and a dirty 20 on the second.
Let's go ahead and re-roll the second one, hoping that
Not
they
just me.
roll out.
All right, so the second one re-rolled becomes a 22.
Both hit.
So both of them hit you. So you are going to take 10, 15, 21, 26, 27, 29. And then the second hit does not get the extra 3. So you get, what did I say, 29, 34, 38, 42, 45 points of damage from that cultist. And
That was fun.
next. Thorgarn, it is your turn. There are 6 cultists, one of whom is engaged with you.
Oh, when's the wedding?
You are currently
I'm
engaged. You shall be married in the morning.
Marriage. Oh.
Uh, 17 is my low number.
That'll hit.
Do you think I should re-roll that, guys?
17's a hit.
Okay.
So no.
All right.
Okay.
It'll be 39 points of damage. Pair of warhammers.
39. All right. You do a pretty good amount of damage to him. Cantriel, you're up.
How close are they to me?
The one's
Like,
right up on
Right
you.
on top. Okay, so rapier it is. I'm going to stabby twice over. Hopefully through the gut. Oh, can I do eyeballs? I want to do the eyes.
What?
I don't know. Stab them through the eyes?
Oh, I'm like,
Trying to stab them in the eyes.
What did you think I said?
I heard what you said. I just didn't know what you were saying.
I want to stab him in the eyes. I have
Sure.
2 attacks, one each,
Let's see how it goes.
blind him. That would be fun. Okay, so the first one is a 15.
That is going to miss. And it misses as you lunge for his eyes. He just goes like this.
Reroll.
I was going to say, I want to reroll.
Sure.
Okay.
Spend those domain dice.
Jeez. Oh, that's a pity number. Okay, so that's 24 now.
That is a hit.
Lovely. So then they are going to take, no pun intended, 10 piercing in the eye.
All right.
Okay, the second one is a 17. That does hit, correct?
That does hit.
Okay, cool. Then that's going to, oh, that's funny. That's going to be another 10 piercing in the other eye.
All right. And the same guy.
Yes, of course.
Same guy.
I'm
both
stooging him.
eyes. All right. Is that your turn? Those are your 2 attacks, your action.
That's my action, and I don't really have any bonus actions left. Yes, that's it for now. Thank you very much.
All right. Off in the distance, a Chardalon closes in on all of you, growing ever closer.
Sucks.
Can I shout in Draconic? Go away!
You can.
That's not going to work.
Intimidate our Chardalon. I'm certain you can do it.
As a Chardalon grows so much larger that you realize how far away he was, he seems to nearly double in size as he's grown closer to you. And I need all 3 of you to make wisdom saving throws. You can have advantage if you have anything that grants you benefits for fear.
Oh, if he's doing fear, I can use my counter charm.
Yep, he's attempting his frightful presence on all of you.
Okay, so then, oh, but that's an action.
Yeah. It's a dirty.
A 13, which I'm certain does not cover it.
I'm not confident that 20 does.
Cantriel?
21.
Drown and Thorgarn, you are terrified of a Chardalon.
Oh no.
Cantriel, the fear you have is born of familiarity and perhaps a bit of familial experience,
Yeah.
but you are not affected by the fear. You have actually succeeded on your save, but just barely. And okay. And he's too far away to do that. Okay, so it's back up to Drown. And before you take your turn, Drown.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, it's not. It's the other dragon cultist turn. That's why I didn't jump to the top. What have these guys got?
Cool.
You see, how tall was your wall of water?
20 feet.
And let's see. Yep. You see as 5 more of these other cultists take to the air and are up above all of you, looking down on you. And we're just going to see what happens here as I roll a bunch of d20s. 6, there we go. So, Drown. A 12 wait. A 10 misses you, I assume.
It does.
But a 24 does not.
It does not. Reroll.
Okay.
What are we being attacked with?
They're all holding orbs in their hands and they're breathing fire down into your
Blast
circular
of fire.
self-made trap.
Okey doke.
Whoops, that's not right. So you're at 120. We'll do this. All right, so I'll re-roll that 19, which now becomes a natural 20.
Cool. Awesome.
Cantriel, does a 16 hit you?
I can't find my mouse again. Damn it. Yes.
Can we re-roll that natural 20?
What?
Can we re-roll the natural 20?
So the rules have always been you can spend a d20 and re-roll the die and take the new roll.
Yeah.
That's how we've always been playing Domain Dice.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep, good question. So you said the 16 does hit you, Cantriel,
Yeah.
which means a 18 will also hit you. Thorgarn, does a 16 hit you? I don't think it does.
It's not.
So Thorgarn, you're not getting hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drown. You take 18 points of fire damage. Oh wait, sorry. Sorry, that's not right, because that was a crit.
Yeah,
You
what I
take-
meant was 36 points of fire damage.
You take 18 plus max, which is 40, so 58 points of fire damage.
Jesus. Okay.
Is Drown still standing?
Still standing.
Holy crap.
Cantriel,
Well,
that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 plus 17, 27, 35, 37 points of fire damage as the flames roar down in here. Back in the room with the tapestry, you're all forming your human chain. Griveth, you're reaching out. Your hand is just beginning to blister. You're concentrating as you're preparing your spell. Fig and Talmud, you notice that as you look at the tapestry, you now see that your friends appear as in the angle looks different. You see them in a towering funnel of steam and water, surrounded by cultists, fire erupting everywhere, and your friends look like they are in desperate trouble. Griveth, what are you going to do?
So they're not grabbing my hand.
Well, you haven't done
No
that
hand to
yet.
grab.
You haven't cast your spell yet.
Okay,
All you did was resist the tapestry so far.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'm casting the dispel
At what
to
level?
try to punch through the dimension and grab my friends.
At what
at
level
least
are
have
you
them grab
casting
them.
the spell?
3rd level. That's the highest I got.
Okay. So I need you to. You're gonna have to make a check using your spell casting ability.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and roll a d20 and add your spell casting modifier.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Come on, baby. Okay. I'm gonna re-roll that. So domain dice. Oh, okay, 26.
Griveth, what does it look like as your spell creates a area of this tapestry that you can reach through into this other world?
Okay, so my friends are holding on to me. The whole rest of the group is just like pulling the other direction. I'm punching into the tapestry and punching through the tapestry. I resist it. My indomitable will pushes my arm through blistering heat. I cast the spell, and kind of this swirling ether is kind of moving around my arm, and it's like a hole punched in the reality of the fire of the plane of fire, and I can just see through this hole. I can see my friends. They're kind of the danger that Cantriel is in has drawn me psychically to the exact spot where they are. So of course I know exactly where to punch through. So I shove my hand through, and they can hear kind of like, it's almost like a funnel or like a tunnel. They can hear my voice coming through. It's like, grab my arm, and what they see is they see like my arm like impossibly long, like it's like, like it's almost like one of those infinity boxes where it's
Like Mrs. Incredible?
it's like I'm Mr. Fantastic, whatever. My arm is like stretched impossibly long, and I'm like, grab my arm, hold on.
Gross.
So yeah.
And we're at the top of the order, so Drown, it would be your turn. And you can actually see, in addition to that, from your side, where you see and hear Griveth's voice, you see the rest of Griveth's body seems to be made of light and water. It looks like light reflecting off from turbulent water, it creating this dazzling spectacle. And he's reaching his hand out towards all of you.
All right. How close is his hand to me?
Within reaching distance.
All right. So how spread out or clumped are these cultists around us?
They're pretty. You said this thing was what, 20 feet in diameter?
20 feet in diameter.
So they're pretty much just inside it, in sort of a semicircle around you. The other 5 are up above you.
How high are the other 5?
Like tight together.
They're just
right?
at the top of the wall.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to reach for Griveth's hand, and as I do, I'm going to snarl and sweep my staff across them and send a blistering spray of sub-zero cold and ice at all of them. So I'm going to rip a cone of cold into them and then grab Griveth's hand.
Okay.
So use these D&D Beyond dice. Whee.
Oh, dang.
Con
save?
35 cold damage. Con save for half.
Fail. What's the DC?
DC is. Where's my spell save DC? I don't remember.
It'll be right next
20.
to your spell
DC
too.
20.
Okay. So yeah, those are fail. Wow. All six of the ones inside fail.
Ooh.
So they all take. You see them sort of hit, and you even see some of the steam and water from this wall start to freeze behind them.
And actually, the entire wall that intersects the cone all freezes solid.
Perfect. And it is almost immediately glistening with an outer sheen of already beginning to melt. The only thing keeping it is the fact that it's magical cold. You grab Griveth's hand. And as you do so, you begin to feel yourself pulled in that direction. They are going to... You hear a bellow from a Chardalon. You just hear this tremendous roar, and Cantriel, you understand the words as a Chardalon just bellows through the air. Hold them for me.
I understand it now too.
Oh yeah, you also
Yeah, he
now
does.
understand that. They are going to attempt, let's see. No, that's not going to go well. Okay. Well, the first one attempts to grab you with a natural 20 athletics check, Drown.
Okay.
So go ahead and oppose that.
So is this like their turn?
Yes.
Doing it. So okay. So I couldn't like go through, or nothing happened there. Or...
You're being pulled through.
Got it. Well, that's an 18, so that's nice. So that's a 22. So athletics. I'm sorry. I get to use my actual whole skill. So that's a 26.
Yeah. He was the only one that even got a hold of you. And your hands start to slip through. Thorgarn, you see as they all suddenly lunge at Drown. Cantriel and Thorgarn, you would each get an opportunity attack because the ones that were on you turned away from you to grab at Drown.
Yes, stabby.
Is Drown there? Do I see him being moved away?
Yes, that is the other thing you will see.
Can I grab with one hand, like just, a leg, an arm, a waist, whatever of Cantriel, and a leg of Drown, and just
Sounds like
hold
an
on for
order.
dear life and
I'm like a Drown and a waist to Cantriel.
Welcome to Dawnbringers. How may I take your order? I'll have a leg of Drown, an arm of Cantriel,
I'll have the fried Goliath.
some fig fries.
Oh, don't you dare say pudding.
I was gonna say fig pudding. Oh, we can have elf pudding too, I guess.
I know.
An extra
No.
tall Talmud shake.
I am not.
And
I am not
some
concerned-
Griveth Langsmore, Knight of Smite, holy water.
I am not concerned with attacking them as so much as, hey, we have an out here. I want to keep the group together and go all out together.
So you use, instead of taking the opportunity attack, you sort of, as these cultists are grabbing at Drown, you see what's happening. You grab a hold of Cantriel just as she's drawing her rapier to attack at this one. You reach out, and as soon as your hand touches Drown's, all of you feel as though you are being pulled lengthwise, stretched far beyond your physical capabilities. Griveth, Fig, Talmud, and Yesha, you all go toppling backwards into the room with Drown Thorgarn and Cantriel trailing behind. They are covered in soot. They are singed all about. Their hair has that sort of that look when you light the grill at the beginning of the season and you're a little too close and a little too much gas, and you get those sort of singed ends to your hair, and you all collapse in a heap in the middle of this room.
Thorgarn is unceremoniously splayed out on his back, breathing heavy, quite singed. You know, I don't know how much of his beard is on fire or his mohawk is on fire, but he's not even concerned. He is just going to sit there and let it singe.
Yeah, there's like a couple tips of your mohawk that are just sort of one little flame, like a candle flame, just sort of burning.
You know, I've never gotten the mohawk. Do you look like kind of like a troll slayer from Warhammer?
Yeah.
Nice.
Full beard, mohawk, lots of, you know, fire and scars on the bald head.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe in the Discord, Fartplume has been posting pictures. He's been 3D printing all of the Dawnbringers.
Yes,
I've not seen the pictures.
And there is a Thorgarn with giant mohawk that's been in there. You can actually, there should be a link now in the chat. I think you can. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. Anyway, if you type exclamation point Discord in the chat, you can get the link to our Discord. All right, so you've all landed in a collapsed heap. You all can feel the heat just rising off from. You smell the brimstone. Is that Talmud?
That's
awesome.
the one to be printed for Talmud.
That's fantastic. And as you're pulled through, the tapestry pulls off of the wall and collapses in a heap on the floor. And it just sort of jumbled, it pulls off and just...
So, you know, through, you know, panting breaths, I don't know if that was stupid or brave or whatnot, but couldn't leave you guys in there alone.
Drown, is sort of rolls up to his knees, and he's just blistered and charred, and his flesh is raw, and it's awful. He looks down at himself and stupid.
Maybe we shouldn't go there.
So is the tapestry burnt away and gone?
No, it just collapsed. It just broke away from the wall, from the force of you all being pulled through it.
Maybe we should just leave that where it's laying.
Cantriel.
Yes,
Yes.
that is a good lesson.
While everyone is studying the tapestry, she's actually slunked off into like a shadowy area of the room and has curled herself up into a ball, and you just see her sort of rubbing her hands up and down her arms and casting Cure Wounds on herself because she's looking wretched.
Before you do that, as you're walking over and you are sort of just collapse into the corner, you hear a voice. You're going to be all right. You know that. It's Melody, your mother. It's not coming from the bow.
You saw what just happened.
You feel her reassuring hand on your shoulder. And as you turn to look at her, you're at home. Where in your homestead would you and your mother normally spend time? Paint us a scene. Where are you talking to your mother? right now?
Up in her study, and it's every little bit of creature comfort that you'd expect. There are knitted and crocheted blankets sort of tossed over every chair possible, and every chair is overstuffed with a couple extra pillows, and there are footstools, and there's tables so that you could easily put a book down if you wanted to stop and get up for a little bit. And there are bookshelves, not like in her father's library, but there are bookshelves filled with various books, most of them having to do with herbal medicine and care and treatment. And there is a unfinished wooden desk with little cubby holes. And above it, there is a rack that hangs with a bunch of different herbs. And lining the top of the desk, there are glass bottles, some filled with herbs mixed with oils, and some just sitting empty, waiting for the next concoction to be created.
Melody says again, "You're going to be all right. We're not going to be gone that long."
I don't see why you have to go in the first place.
There are things that we have to take care of that your family, or your family, that your, there are things that we have to take care of that we would rather not get you involved.
How come they get to go? How come I have to stay home?
Somebody has to be here. And we have decided that you are old enough and mature enough to handle things on your own.
No, I'm not.
Cantriel, we'll be back in a 10-day, maybe a few days extra.
What if I need you?
As you say that, Octavio comes into the room. What if I need you? He's always making fun of you.
Your fly's undone.
I'm not wearing a pants with flies.
That's what you think.
And he just makes a face at you. You see behind him coming into the room, flowing in the way that she always does, is Sonata, your sister. She just seems to almost glide. It almost seems to be dancing. And she's wearing a clearly new summer dress, twirling so that it flares out. Oh, Cantriel, just see what Mother and Father got for me for our trip. Isn't it lovely? And then behind is and I just his name just escaped my head. Your father comes into the room. Calamicus, thank you. I just had it and I lost it. He is holding a satchel with a cup with leather handles, and he's stuffing 3 or 4 books into it. And he's got these round spectacles that he sort of pushes up and says, Sonata, quit teasing your sister. And then he turns and he has the appearance of somebody who is worried. He looks at you with a puzzled look. Tell me, Fig, what is it that concerns you? Fig, tell us what it looks like as you are in Copernicus's study.
I feel like Fig is... Fig has been fixated on this small little beetle that is crawling across the table. And he has lowered himself so that he's eye level with the table, and he can see the little legs scurrying back and forth between, in probably the only space that is empty right now, this very small little square, and everything else is just covered in books and scrolls and ink, and you can hear the bubbling of different concoctions. The floor is always sticky and different colors from experiments that have gone wrong. You can see the purples and the blues and the yellows that have now stained the floor. And Fig is knelt down. Am I like this beetle?
Clarify your question, Fig.
This beetle moves. It moves with a purpose. Do I have a purpose?
You are asking one of the fundamental questions that all living beings ask themselves. If I tell you that your purpose is to seek out your purpose, would that be enough for you?
See Fig kind of tilt his head to the side and then back. I do not understand why you would not program that within me. Some of your other robots have purpose, and he would gesture over to one that is just this small little wheeled robot that he had made to as a kind of like almost like a centrifuge to shake some of the experiments that he needs for a while, and it just kind of moves around in this circle. And he looks over. They have a purpose. I do not know mine.
Figure 2, Prometheus. I programmed that little construct. I created it from nothing. I gave it its purpose. It twirls around on its wheel in circles, mixing my components together, my concoctions, and that is the limit of its purpose. It has been given a task to do, and it does it unfailingly time and again. Were I to do that to you, you would not be free to find out for yourself who you are and what you are destined to be. Sure,
What?
these things can be disrupted, but
What if I make the wrong decision?
then you will learn from it. You will grow. But if I programmed you like this little construct here, and something interfered, you would not be able to grow. Watch. And he reaches out with a wand and sticks it in the spokes of this little construct. It goes toppling over the end of the table and seems to fall in almost slow motion. In the glass bottle, we see Copernicus's face reflected, and for a moment we zoom in on that reflection, and the face seems to transform into that of a young Griveth Langsmore. Just as his face is slammed into the hardwood floor, Griveth, your opponent, has just picked you up over his head, leaned backwards, and pile-drived you into the ground. You feel one of your teeth crack as You look up through a dizzying array. Where is Griveth Langsmore, the Knight of Smite, having a wrestling match in his youth right now?
This is outside the walls of a fortress. One of the lords of my employer has displeased his liege, and I have been hired as a mercenary in the army to take down this baron. And it's been a boring siege. It's just lots of time on our hands, nothing interesting to do, bad food. So we try to spice it up a little bit with some hand-to-hand combat, some wrestling, mud wrestling, oil wrestling, brawls, whatever, whatever happens to be the flavor that day. But yeah, I took a I normally as a pretty good wrestler, I took a tumble and actually it landed with my face on the ground. But these are always lessons that Griveth has learned in his wrestling, and the next time he comes at somebody, it's going to be different, right? He's going to be the victor. It's going to be the other person on the ground. It's going to be the other person in the hold that can't break free. Yeah.
You catch sight, Griveth, as you're in this wrestling match in your downtime, from your vantage point with your face pressed into the floor of this makeshift ring, you see a figure moving through the crowd. You've seen him moving through crowds before. It seems wherever you are, this individual is watching you. You look and you see around his neck, he wears a holy symbol depicting a cascading waterfall. And as you make eye contact, he gives a little bit of a smile and turns and walks away. As he turns away, we see in the crowd a dwarf yelling out, "I said give him hell!" This dwarven voice seems to carry across the open water. The smell of salt water is in the air. The only other sound is that of the waves lapping against this small wooden rowboat that seems to be sitting out in the midst of a sea. Drown, what are you and Valerian doing in this rowboat out in the sea?
So it is probably late in the afternoon, closing onto evening. Sun is sinking down toward the horizon, and Drown is rowing, but not really putting much effort into it at the moment, and then just sort of settles. And Valerian is sort of lazily coiling and casting a fishing net.
Valerian looks over at you. As the net sort of settles into the water, and he settles his bulk down in for a moment, and he says once again, "I am telling you, if they don't give us a fair price for what we bring in today, I'm going to give them hell. I'm getting real tired of them trying to take advantage of us."
They always do. I told you. If you want, I can sink their ship next time they go out.
And I've told you. And I will not give you that permission. But I'm also not stopping you. Something else is stopping you.
Maybe when we're ready to leave.
And then he leans back. He looks over, checks the net that's sinking in to the water a little bit. And he heaves a sigh. Drown. I don't know what it is. But whatever your destiny may be, it can't be to spend your days hauling fishing nets and providing overwatch for an aging dwarf. I don't know what it is, but there is something more for you out there.
Whatever it was cast into the sea years ago. You know that. For now, this is enough.
But, as you know, things that are cast into the sea, sometimes they come out. And he begins heaving on the net as he lurches, pulls himself up. He starts pulling on the net and begins pulling in a pretty good amount of fish. Their silvery scales flashing in the light of the sun, and we see as those lights are dazzling by, we see a armorer's hammer striking hot metal on an anvil, the metal ringing out time and again. A young Thorgarn, or younger Thorgarn, watches as the smith hammers in the background. Thorgarn, you are in a town with your former adventuring party. Who is standing with you at this exact moment as you have come in between adventurers?
Between adventures, or is this during my apprenticeship?
You tell me.
So I would assume that this is probably Father Griffin, and this is before I actually was going to get anointed, or whatever you want to refer to it as. Showing me my first real lesson at the forge.
You always stare into the flames. You always stare into the hot metal. And you don't say much, Thorgarn. What?
Watching. I'm trying to find out how to do it right.
But what are you thinking while you are watching the hammer strike the metal?
I'm learning the process. What am I supposed to be thinking about?
Watch as he places that metal into the flames. He works the bellows, increases the fires. He pulls it out, he strikes it, turning it over and over again, and placing it in again and again until he's ready to quench it, taking shape with whatever it is he's making. Do you think he is thinking about the process?
I mean, the fire's hot. You want to make sure you don't burn your beard. I mean, you gotta be careful. I mean, of course he's gotta be paying attention.
Fire is hot. Next, you're gonna tell me that the water is wet, that the sky is blue. You get caught up in the process too much, Thorgarn. As he is working the metal, he is not thinking about the process. The process, it's second nature. What he is thinking about is what he will form. What shape is this thing to be taking? Always think about the future. Think about what is the shape of things to come. Does that make sense?
It kind of does, but shouldn't he have an idea of what he wants to be making before he's starting to strike? You know, you don't just there's steps. You know, you have to do the thing. You can't just see where things go, right?
You're not entirely wrong, Thorgarn. But there is so much more to that. You keep watching. You keep learning. Soon, though, you remember. It is about the process and thinking about where will your hammer strike and what will be left when you raise it again. Now, one day, that's gonna be yours. And Talmud, you hear the voice of your father, pointing above your grandfather's mantle, where Gerta hangs.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that I'm the right one for, you know. I'm sure there's someone who would do better with it, you know?
Do you have somebody in mind?
Well, I mean, no, I want to be the one to wield it. It's just, there's just so much more to it, you know, the weight of it, not the physical weight of it, you know. I mean, it's the, what if I lose it?
What if you lose that? What if you lose Gerta?
What if I end up like Grand Uncle Horn and never come home? And it's at the bottom of some goblin-infested well or something.
Then you will become a great part of our heritage. Great Uncle Horn has been told, his tales have been told in stories since you were a wee dwarf. You know all about him, yes, because of these stories.
Of course I do, Da. Of course.
And I'm not saying that I want that for you. But it could happen.
Da, what if I get taken over the way that it happens sometimes, and I don't ever come back in a different way?
You know, my dad, your grandfather, he would get taken away sometimes. He would disappear for days, weeks, and yet he would be right here. And my ma, your grandma, she would deal with him, depending on how he was. Sometimes we left for a bit, and we came back. Granddad was always there. He told me it was Gerta that kept him grounded.
Talmud just kind of looks up at the mall and kind of studies it in a new light. And maybe Maybe I am the right one.
One day, the time will come. One day, you'll see that you're gonna be all right. Are you gonna be all right? Hello, Mr. Talmud. And Yesha is patting your face lightly, and with increasing strength, starting to slap you.
What? Hey, get off of me!
Oh,
Stop
thank goodness. And she immediately leaves you and rushes over to Cantriel. Are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be all right? And all of you begin to hear Yesha's voice.
It'll take Cantriel a little while before she even like registers it. Can I do my cure wounds on myself now?
No. Here's why. As you all begin to sort of come to listening to Yesha, you realize you are all standing in the middle of the room staring at the tapestry hanging on the wall. You've been standing like this for hours. Ever since we walked into this room, you've been staring at that tapestry. That couldn't break your concentration. It's been at least 6, 7, 8 hours. You all have the benefits of a long rest.
Sweet! Oh,
And that
Jakey.
is where we're going to take a break.
We managed to get a restful sleep during that?
Hey, I'm zoned out and felt refreshed after I came to.
Yeah, that's just start imitating life.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
So
All
we're
right,
going to go
at
ahead.
this point, our hero's feast is expired, right?
we go.
Yes. And yeah, there was shenanigans going on, which is why your hero's feast wasn't affecting your fear. Part of those shenanigans is I forgot about the hero's feast.
I just forgot about it. That's what I figured happened.
But yeah, clearly there were some shenanigans going on, some DM shenanigans. We are going to go ahead and take a short break, which is good because it looks like I spoke too soon before the stream. We're dropping a few frames here. It doesn't look too bad. But we're going to go ahead and we are going to take about a 10-minute break. And then we'll come back and play a little bit more D&D. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in, hanging out with us so far. I see lots going on in the chat. I hope you're enjoying things. Thanks to the people that have followed us. If you haven't already, hit that little heart icon, give us a follow, and you'll be reminded when we go live every week. Also, stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. That's our short rest, and for the players, that is a long rest after a harrowing experience inside the tapestry. Though, according to Yesha, all of you have spent the last 8 hours staring transfixed by this tapestry. She says she could do nothing to snap you out of it. Cantriel, you can detect a little bit stronger than before a strong scent of brimstone. And Griveth, your right hand, even as you heal up, has the sort of phantom pain from being all blistered as you resisted the pull of the tapestry. There are no blisters on your hand. There's no scar tissue. But all of you, the memories you have of this experience are very real and very visceral. Though, as Yesha says, you didn't go anywhere. You were here the whole time.
So, was that all foreshadowing? Is that really the power in the fight that we're setting ourselves up for?
Difficult to say if that was truth, but it felt very real.
We were warned it wasn't going to be easy.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. Knowledge is power. And I don't know if this evil place tried to use our fear against us, or if the gods above saw fit that to twist the evil in this place to give us more knowledge to be better prepared for the battles ahead. With that, I don't know if any of you had memories or visions of your past, but this place has definitely stirred my thoughts. When we get out of here, I have something that I want to do, and I consider all of you family. And if you are willing, I would like you all to take part. It's not going to be easy or something short. It'll take some time. But I have a project that will help us all out. But mostly, and I slap Talmud on the shoulder, we'll talk more at length after we're out of this place, but I have a plan. And with that, I just kind of smack Gerda off your shoulder and kind of step away.
Talmud kind of looks confused after him for just, but we are family.
Well, yeah, I know you would take part. But I mean, the Dawnbringer family.
Oh, ice. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. That makes sense. What exactly happened whenever you went inside or didn't actually go inside the wall covering?
We saw ourselves appear at the gates of the city of brass, as the tapestry shows. The dragon, Shardalon, and its worshippers were there.
And they spotted us right away.
We appeared in the open.
They came in fires a burning, and oh boy, did it burn.
Well, then, if in fact it could be true, then taking precautions to protect ourselves would never be a foolish thing, even if it's wasted.
Wholeheartedly agree. Getting something for each of us to resist those kind of flames almost seems necessary.
Going up against this dragon? Yes.
But as stated, knowledge is power, and I believe we've been forewarned.
Then let's use it to our advantage.
Do we have any more concrete knowledge of anything other than we were simply told that we are destined to face a Charlatan? Is this the first you all have heard of it?
Not exactly.
No.
Chardalon seems to be becoming more and more popular in the circles we find ourselves in.
It was the first I'd heard of the creature with you.
We found mention of it in a very, very old place. Even back whenever it was not such an old place, they appeared to worship him.
Right.
I'm afraid he's no mere dragon.
From what we saw, absolutely not.
We have a great deal of preparation to do before we're ready to face it down like that again.
Great.
If what we saw was the truth of them, we would not have lasted seconds longer.
But when we're there, it'll be all of us, not just half of us.
And we'll be more prepared.
Perhaps that will make the difference. Drown's tone is usually very flat, but somehow it says everything his words don't.
Talmud's actually going to turn to Yisha. You said we've been standing around here staring for hours, you said.
Yeah?
And nothing has come crawling around looking for trouble in that time.
Nothing. I tried for quite a while to get you to snap out of it, and then I closed the door. And eventually I even sat, and admittedly I dozed off for a bit with my back against the door. But nothing tried to come in. Maybe they got lost in all those rooms we came through to get here.
Well, we came here for a reason, and that reason still hasn't been fulfilled. If the rest of you, and he kind of looks specifically at Thorgarn, Drown, and Cantriel, are all right to proceed, I think we should press on.
Fine. And Drown just sort of heaves himself up to his feet from where he'd settled.
Let's get this over with.
All right, well, there's only the one door that you came through to get into this room. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. So, going back, you would find yourself in the narrow room with 10 feet wide by 20 feet long, unfurnished. There's a single door to the south. You find yourself in another empty square room. Going into the one other door to the east would take you back to one of the rooms that there are 4 doors in. You would remember that the door to the south is where Thorgarn almost fell through the floor. to the east led to a couple more rooms and the tower, or rather the altar that Thorgarn destroyed. To the north would take you to the room that you came out of. You go through the one to the north. It's another 10-foot wide, 20-foot long to the north. There's a door on your right that goes to the stairwell that you took down to this level. And there's a door to the north that you have not gone through.
Well, that's clearly the way to go, because we are not going back to that one where I nearly fell.
All right. Let me find my way. How's the street looking? Good. All right. So this time, as you open the door, for the first time since coming down on this floor of the tower, you find a room very large. All along to the east and to the west, to your right and to your left, there are niches cut into the wall. The room extends almost 60 feet to the west and about 40 feet almost to the east. Niches on either side. Looks like there's easily a dozen or more. Each niche has an ornate sarcophagi of stone or metal standing upright within it. A layer of dust covers everything. The stonework all around this room where these niches are, they form sort of like almost like pillars. There's skulls and urns sort of dotting around, old skulls, some of them crumbling, urns, many of them in full form, some of them broken apart, lying in pieces. The floor, though thickly covered in dust, has a square alternating tile texture to it, in a checkerboard pattern. The pillars that form these niches, carved from the stone, almost look like leaves and thorns coming out, leading up to the ceiling 10 feet above, where they join, forming sort of thorny arches. Every sarcophagi looks different in every niche. And there is only one door that you can see on the northern side of this long chamber, about 30 feet down to the east.
Are we checking these things again? Are we just moving on?
Do you wish to loot them?
Less looting, more making sure they're not going to jump up out at us.
There you go.
And maybe looting too.
Well, yeah, of course, if there's something fine, go ahead and grab it, grabby hands.
I'm just saying.
Right.
At least you're saying this time and not just doing.
There's one directly across from you, in fact. Just to sort of whet your appetite, you see this sarcophagi is made of stone, and there is carved into the surface of it an elven male in full armor.
So unless everybody's like essentially running off in different directions, Griveth is going to try to stay as close as he can to the center of the group, and then have Dawnbringer up, so point at different directions. People are looking, and so we can see what's going on, and it's at like full intensity.
So same
Not the
plan.
first rodeo. We're definitely going one at a time.
Okay.
So, what's your plan? What's your starting point going to be? And are you going to move like clockwise, counterclockwise?
Talmud, are these all stone? You said they were all different,
Nope.
but are they all stone?
Some are metal, some are stone. They have different things carved in the surface of them.
Is there any possibility of telling which one might be the oldest?
The dwarfy folk might be able to figure it out.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
you
that's kinda
could
what I
you
was
could do a
History?
yeah, you could do a history check at advantage.
Okay, let's see here. And stone cunning. Oh god. Stone cunning gives double proficiency.
Is that what it is?
I believe so.
Thought it was advantage. So double proficiency in your history check.
Oh, okay. That's awful. I rolled the the D&D dice, D&D Beyond dice. So the total was. Where's my proficiency? 4. There it is. The total was 9.
Okay. Well, these are all pretty old. They're all covered in dust. It's really hard for you to tell which one's older than the other one.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought everybody was cheering me on.
I kind of did too.
I'm gonna
Because Cole Sparks just
They're so
subscribed
happy that I
gave
messed
you
up.
Cole Sparks just subscribed and gave you a domain die.
Hey, thanks. I'm gonna go ahead and spin that one. Thanks, Cole Sparks. All right. I'm gonna roll physical dice this time. And I was rewarded with a 20. So that'll be a 19 and 8, so 27.
Okay. So as you're walking along, looking at these, you're less paying attention to what's carved into them than you are looking at what they're made of. You see that they're mostly made of stone, but occasionally some are made of iron. And then at the far end, the far west end of the hall, you see, as you walk over, you have to sort of walk around the room to look at all of these. You get within about 10 feet of it, and you see a stone sarcophagi carved in different sorts of runes that you do not recognize. The stone has a lighter color to it, and it almost seems a little bit porous. It's a type of sandstone, and it has an even rougher look to it, indicating something ancient.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Griveth here, but vampires live forever, right? Unless someone kills them, obviously.
Not around me, they don't, but yes.
So, it would stand to reason then that the oldest vampire would probably be the one who had accumulated the most power, the most knowledge. So, I think if we're going to tackle these bastards one at a time, I think we should start with this one.
Agreed.
Dwarves and Griveth first, as the last time.
Yes.
I'll have my bow ready.
And when you are ready.
All right. Who's going to open it? Talmud. You approach this stone sarcophagi, and looking around, you see the edges of it. You see that it's so old, or it is very old, but it's very cleverly worked, that the designs carved into it seem to almost obscure where the edges are that would lead to the lid. But your dwarven eyes can spot, your expert eyes can see where that is cleverly hidden, and you will find a place to get a handhold and are able to pull on this stone lid and pull it aside so that you can see what is inside. Inside, you see the mummified remains of some person of renown. Though the wrappings are old and tattered, some of the desiccated skin showing through, you can see shining bright as if it were freshly made, the golden bracelets and this sort of triangular gold piece that hangs on thick gold chain around its neck. And then from the point, a couple of chains go down and around under its arms and around its back. Emblazoned in the gold is the form of a dragon with its wings spread wide. And as you're looking at it, and you see that it's got these golden bracelets, its arms sort of crossed below this draconic icon. You hear what sounds like paper tearing. And you realize it's the mummy's eyes opening. And we might as well roll for initiative, because elsewhere in the room, you see other figures emerging, not from opening coffins, but passing through the stone. And this one's not set up in Beyond, so I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. Let's see, we got Griveth, Cantriel, Fig, Thorgarn, and Talmud. Griveth, what you got?
15. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 15.
Drown.
Drown has a 19.
Cantriel.
16.
Fig.
18.
Thorgarn.
16.
Talmud.
20.
All right, and then I need to roll. Let's see. Wow. Just wow. I rolled single digits on my monsters. So this could be a short fight. Let's see. So that's going to be Talmud, Drown, Big, and then Cantriel and Thorgarn, Griveth, and then Mummy Dude, and these other apparitions. Okay. Griveth. You're not first. I don't know why I said your name.
I was
Talmud.
going to say, yeah, am I first? I thought Drown got higher than I did.
I wrote all those down, and then I wrote all those down, and then I went from the top. Talmud, you are up first, and you're standing right in front of this mummy dude.
So I think he's kind of slid that lid out of the way and just keeps pushing it kind of until it's just on the floor. And immediately looks down and I imagine he's probably at the head end of this thing, kind of looks down and realizes that it's opened his eyes, and he's just going to reach up, grab a hold of a ghost cleaver, and grab with the second hand, bring it up from behind, and just straight down with 2 strikes.
Just to help with your visualization, remember, these sarcophagi are not laying down. They're all standing up.
They're all standing.
So you still did that. So your eye line's a little more up, as
Right.
this seems to be humanoid of average height.
Okay. Yeah, then still kind of aiming towards the head then, just from a different perspective than I was picturing. Yeah, and I will bring Ghost Cleaver down twice towards his face. Right in the face.
Sure.
Okay. The first one is a 22.
That's going to be a hit.
The second is a 29.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the first one is going to be magical damage to the tune of 9 slashing. And 9 for the second as well.
So 18.
See.
All right. I'm just checking something. There we go. Okay. So then it's going to be Drown. You are next.
All right, so we have just the one mummy and then spiritual thingies floating out of the sarcophagi down the hall.
Yes, you see these sort of the best way to describe them is in the movie Matrix Reloaded, the twins, the ghost twins, when they do that full spectral they are in fact specters.
Cool. Then I am going to reach my hand out toward the closest one of them and unleash some withering blasts of eldritch force at it. Let's see, that is going to be 18 and 19 to hit.
Yep, both of those will hit.
All right. I would hit him twice. Ooh, good rolls. 29 points of force damage.
Wow.
Yeah, 9 and 10.
Yeah, as your force energy hits this creature, it almost dims down. You do so much damage to it, but it still maintains an essence of existence. Fig, you are next.
So these things are coming out down this hall, correct? Behind.
Yeah. So this whole thing is nearly 100 feet long. It's about 30 feet across, and everybody had sort of moved towards, with Talmud, Thorgarn, and Griveth sort of being the closest to the sarcophagi at the end. So you're all sort of in wherever you would have been. I mean, you decide, but they're basically in the middle of the room. Drown just struck one of them. There's two more they've literally just emerged, passing through the stone and iron.
All right. So Fig is going to take this small ball, this cog-shaped, almost copper-looking ball from his shoulder, and he takes it and he's going to roll it. And as he begins to roll it, it's almost in slow motion as it begins to glow red and it gets larger and larger and larger and just and it's going to knock into can he get the two that are close together in the middle?
Sure.
Yeah. With the flaming sphere. It's going to just try to knock him down like a bowling ball.
Is that an attack?
A dex. It is a dex saving throw.
Okay. Dex saving throw for the two specters. That's going to be 16 and a 17 for them.
Can you reroll the 17?
Sure. Boom. Whoops. Boom, boom. There we go. That is now a 10.
Perfect. So they're both going to take 19 points
Okay.
of fire damage. And if they if any creature ends the turn within 5 feet of the sphere, they have to make a dex saving throw. Yes.
All right. Cantriel and Thorgarn, you're both up.
All right. Do you want to go first?
I said in the chat I was giving it to you.
Okay. Looking at the situation, I'm going to cast my Hunter's Mark and get that going. Pull my bow out, and also draw my last fire arrow from my quiver.
Which one are you marking?
The mummy.
Sure.
So I'm shooting at the mummy. You're looking nice and brittle and dry. And let's see here. Okay, 19 hits, right?
Yes, but hold on.
I don't want to.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, so damage is then going to be 11.
All right.
Do you want the fire separately though?
Yeah, I'll need it separately.
That was 6.
Okay. So, as you fire this arrow, the mummy's hand reaches up and grabs at the arrow. He's going to reduce that damage by 5 points, but he's not able to reduce it to 0. As he grabs it, it still sort of into him, and you set fire to some of his wrappings and whatnot. So let's see, you did 11 reduced to 6, but that's going to double up to 12. So
I came out ahead.
well, no, that was the 6 was the fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll reduce up to the 12, or
Okay.
reduce up to 12. Don't mind me.
I won't.
All right, I know what I'm doing. I got the
So-
number. It's yeah.
Okay. So that takes care of the first shot. I'll go in for a second.
Was that counting your hunter's mark damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a couple ones. So then, after seeing that, can I? No, I'm still gonna try and see just to see. You never know. Okay, that is a 21.
That will hit.
That will hit, and then that's going to be a total of 11 again.
All right. But no, this wasn't fire because you said you used your last one.
That was my last fire arrow
Right.
that just went.
All right. Thorgarn.
So I come into him with Warhammers a swinging. The old dwarven fighting tactic of man can't stand, a man can't fight. So I'm going into knees and ankles here. My lowest is dirty 20.
Okay, yeah.
That hits. Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
Total of 33 magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay. And he is taking it. Yep, he's taking all that damage. Barely having a chance to do more than open his eyes and snatch an arrow. Griveth, it is your turn.
So how many these other things are coming through the wall?
The other 3 creatures in the middle of the room, yes, they've sort of come out of the sarcophagi by passing through them. Spectral humanoid figures.
Okay, what do they look like?
Spectral humanoid figures.
Okay.
They have. I mean, that's what they look like. They have the shape of humanoids, but they're hard to see in part because of the light of Dawnbringer.
Yeah.
They're very translucent. In the light of Dawnbringer, they almost look like vague humanoid shapes that are causing a shimmer in the air. There's no mechanical disadvantage, but that's how they look.
Right. Okay. All right. I am gonna move to within 30 feet of everything and turn undead.
Okay. So
they all need to make a DC 15 save. Wisdom.
Okay. Let's see. I'll roll for all 3 of them. That is a 13, a 10, and a 15. So one of them saved.
Okay. One of the spirit creatures?
Yes.
Okay.
You would have gone out of range of the mummy.
Okay.
In order to get the specters.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, 2 of them are turn.
Okay, re-roll the other one. Why not?
Oh my gosh, I cannot type. Remind me what turn undead does. It just makes them flee from you, right?
Makes them go flee from me for a minute or until they take damage.
Okay, so re-rolling that, spending your 2 domain dice. I'll put you guys at. Oops. Put you at 110. That is now a 7. So all 3 of them are turn.
So creatures must spend their turn moving as far away as they can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 of me. It also can't take reactions for its action. It can only use a dash action to try to escape from the effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature uses a dodge action.
So they can't attack?
No.
They can't attack you or anything?
They won't get within 30 of me.
Can they attack while they're moving away from you?
Like if I was near them and no. They just flee. They don't do anything else.
All right, so they are all turn, and it is my turn. Okay. So the mummy now, having taken a few blows from inside his coffin, he is going to look at the closest 2 targets to him, which are Thorgarn and Talmud. And Thorgarn and Cantriel, you hear in this raspy voice, you can all hear as he says something, you all hear this sort of, and it's a raspy, ancient form of Draconic that Thorgarn and Cantriel, you hear him say, I am Aelcat, champion of Ashardalan. I will not be destroyed by you. And he is going to lunge out of his coffin, and he is going to attack both of Thorgarn and Talmud. So, as he lunges out, his first attack at Thorgarn, come on, dice, is an 8, so that's going to miss. He swings, as he punches down at Talmud, he kicks a foot up at Thorgarn. That is a 23 to hit.
Who's the 23 at?
That's
I'm assuming
you.
me, since he-
That's Thorgarn. It was Talmud was the one he tried to punch. Oh. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, Thorgarn.
I'm not very good at these things. Ooh, 19 on the die helps. That's a 20.
Okay, he kicks you hard, but you are not knocked prone. However, I also need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Definitely better at these things.
And then I'll tally up the damage.
That is going to be a 24, sir.
For your saving throw?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you will not be affected by his rotting foot. But you will take, from the hit, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, and you take 9 points of necrotic damage.
19 total?
Sure. And
That means I heard it right.
let's see. So that was his action. And yep, I think that's what he's going to do. The specters are going to use their turn to disappear inside the sarcophagi. They are going to vanish from sight. Oh, I know what it was. Hold on. There was a bonus action that he had. And it is... Where is it? There it is. Ooh. Okay. Never mind. I was wrong. It is now Talmud's turn. We're back at the top of the order since the specters are fleeing.
Okay. I forgot those attacks on Thorgarn actually should have been a disadvantage. So I
Also,
just need to
real
try to
quick,
remember that going forward.
Griveth, what's the damage for them starting their turn, the specters starting their turn in the light of Dawnbringer?
Oh, yes.
Isn't there something about undead?
Oh, well, it's just for vampires.
Okay.
I do
it's-
extra
it's-
damage to undead with on Dawnbringer, but it's only vampires that take the sunlight damage.
Yeah, the light is
Unless
just sunlight.
specters
Well, no,
also
the
take
specters
sunlight
have
damage.
the specters, if they weren't running away from you, would have disadvantage because of the sunlight.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
what it was.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to acknowledge that Dawnbringer
Thank
is
you, I
in play,
appreciate it.
and there's an effect there. All right, Talmud, what were you saying? You're at disadvantage?
No, the attacks from the mummy to Thorgarn should have been at disadvantage because of my specters, because I hit him.
Ah.
And I just forgot about it, so it's my bad. All right, he's going to continue to kind of harangue this mummy with Ghost Cleaver. He's going to make 2 more attacks, kind of coming across laterally now, and he's going to do so recklessly, putting himself somewhat in between the mummy and Thorgarn. Okay, so a 24 on the first.
Indeed.
Ooh, I'm gonna spend a domain die and reroll the second one because I got a 1 and a 2. That's better. A 28.
Indeed.
Excellent. Okay, and then 12 points from the first. And I'm going to use Savage Attacker. So that's going to be 13 from the second. Schnicky, schnicky, schnoy.
Talmud, what does it look like when you kill Aoket?
I think the first swipe actually takes off that foot that he just tried to kick Thorgarn with, and it just kind of like flies across the room and hits the wall and just like powders instantly. And then then Talmud kind of turns around and cuts laterally once again right across the midsection, and there's this kind of like dry, like twig sound as his spine snaps from Ghost Cleaver cutting all the way through the hollow, dust-filled torso, and he literally just collapses into the ground, just dried bits of bandage and broken, fragile pieces of bone, dust.
And you hear as he collapses into dust and bone and wrappings, you hear "I'll get gone, but never forgotten." And he's gone. And the specters have fled.
So I say,
Jeez.
Wait, what was
English.
his name again?
English.
That's
Aoket.
exactly what
Did you both say what was his name?
So Thorgarn was going to say out loud, what was that name again? Just as kind of a jest, but he beat it a punch.
I love you guys. So yeah, you're out of combat, and I could have done this before the fight started, but I'm gonna let you see where you are, because if you're gonna start looting some sarcophagi, this is gonna be helpful. Why did that not change? There we go. Okay, so you are in this long marbled tiled floor hallway. I've put the arrow indicating where you were just dealing with Aoket, and you can see that standing in all of these alcoves are sarcophagi. This is the door that you came into the room through. This is the door out of the room. How would you like to... in addition, Talmud, to the bones and wrappings and whatnot, there are a couple other items that collapsed. Some shinies. They are... Come on. Let's see. He had, and I completely forgot to mention this, he had a headdress that looks like almost like a helmet in the shape of a jackal. And his gold bracelets have dropped to the ground, and that medallion with the gold chains that was sort of worn over his chest of a Chardalon, the medallion of a Chardalon, not his chest of a Chardalon. Those are all lying in the ashes. And the bracelets, just for the sake of potentially identifying them later on, are will count as essentially as bracers. But for flavor, they are gold bracelets. Yeah, and then there's that jackal helmet. You can call the gold emblem of a Chardalon whatever you want. You don't know what it's worth, but it looks like it's worth a lot. All right, how would you like to proceed, Dawnbringers? There's several more sarcophagi.
Is there anything significant on the outside of the sarcophagi? Like names or inscriptions, especially if it's in Draconic?
Each one looks different, so you'd have to investigate each one separately.
So,
Well,
I'm sorry. B.
Okay, I'll start with the one closest to me then.
All right,
So
so
Griveth saw where all the specters went, right? The different coffins they went into.
Yep.
Okay.
So they would have gone one into this one,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other two into these two coffins.
Okay, cool.
All right. So
All right.
Cantriel, you had... Where were you in the room? Because you fired your Bo, were you sort of in this area then?
A little bit further back, like just entering the room type of situation.
So you've basically got this one or this one that are closest to you.
The first one then.
All right, so that is... Where's my key? Okay. So that one is... What? That one, as you go closer to it to look at it, the sarcophagi is carved with a elven female wearing robes, but the stone has an almost translucent look to it.
There's nothing else in terms of any writing or anything like that?
Nope.
And it doesn't look like the lizardy-like elvish people, right?
What?
The person on the sarcophagus. It doesn't look like because they're the ones who are looking more draconic.
Oh,
before.
no. It doesn't have any draconic features to it.
Okay.
You said lizardy looking. I thought you said wizardy.
No.
And I was like, what does a wizardy elf
Do
look
they
like?
have a hat and a wand?
It's just a high elf. Yeah.
Well, the sarcophagus that's open, Aokek or whatever his name was, is that actually carved on the sarcophagus anywhere?
It's hard to tell. The runes that are carved into the sarcophagus are nothing that any of you have seen before.
Okay.
All right, so Cantriel has identified a elven female in robes on this sarcophagi. The sarcophagus itself appears semi-translucent. Are you going to do anything with it, or?
I'm going to take the base of my rapier and bang it against the stone to see if it cracks or anything.
It passes right through it.
Translucent.
It passes right through it.
Answers that.
That's what I was wondering.
It appears to be an illusory sarcophagi. Nothing else of significance is in this alcove. Just this particular sarcophagi is illusory.
All right, well, heads up. If it looks kind of transparent, it's not real.
All right, who's next?
How many of these things look transparent?
You'd have to look around at all of them to determine that.
Okay.
Assuming you do that.
Well, I mean, Talmud did look at all of them to try and figure out which one was the oldest.
Just that one.
Okay.
All right. Is your intent to go through all of these? Then what I'll do is this. I will point at a sarcophagi and you tell me who's going to be the one to deal with it. So we'll start, since you were here dealing with Aoket, we'll go clockwise around the room. This one here. Talmud. That is... Okay. Talmud.
Nope.
You see that this is made of stone and depicts a gnome in full armor. And then am I assuming you're opening them too? Okay.
Yeah, that's Talmud's plan.
Talmud, you open the sarcophagi and it is empty, but the back of the sarcophagus appears to be dislodged and there's a room behind it. Looking inside this room, you see a small chamber, 10 foot by 10 foot. There are empty funerary wrappings. Amidst them, you find a gold chain with a black pearl worth 350 gold pieces. All right, next one here. Who's doing that?
Fig can.
Okay, Fig. This one is made of iron and depicts a dragon-headed humanoid. Opening it up, you find this sarcophagus to be empty. Who's opening this one? Griveth. This one is made of stone. There's an elven female and banded male. Popping this one open, it is also empty. Right, here we have another one.
I'll take it.
This one made of stone. You find a dwarf in breeches carved on it. Opening it up, you find inside a diamond wristlet worth 400 gold pieces. Cantriel's like, I want it. All right. So now we're to the one here across from the door. Who wants that one? That was Drown. You see a stone carved elven male in full knight regalia, and the coffin is empty. Next.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Was that a specter one?
Yes, and it was empty. There was no.
Okay.
Both of those were specter ones.
Okay.
Who was that, Cantriel? Stone, an elven female in robes, a different one. Inside you find a jeweled scabbard worth 300 gold pieces. It looks to be the scabbard for a long sword, though there is no sword. Is somebody writing all this treasure down?
Yeah, I just need to know the price on the scabbard.
300 gold pieces. Okay, next up.
The diamond wristlet was 400.
Yep. So who's taking this one?
I'll go again.
Drown, you find an iron sarcophagus, half-orc male in breeches. Your luck continues. This one is empty. We're now at the end of the hallway. Who would
I'll
like
take-
this one?
I'll do that one.
You find this one is made of stone. There is a dragon-headed humanoid carved into it. And when you pull it open, there is a burst of flame. And
Of course.
I need everybody in this room to make a dexterity saving throw.
Crap.
Sorry, that was my metal dice.
Was it something that I saw coming or saw the source of, or however it's worded?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would work.
Okay.
You're not the one that's right up on it, so I think you would be able to. You hear this sort of as the fire bursts out. So, okay. What you all got?
I burned a
16.
domain die to get a 21.
All right.
Out of 3.
Anybody below a 15? Except for Fig.
Oh.
Fig, you take 15 points of fire damage. The rest of you take 7. As you open it up and flame just shoots out from this sarcophagus into the room. And you see now where you pulled the lid open, there was a metal chain attached to a device and it appears to have caused this combination of arcane and mundane trap to fire off. If you would like to continue, here's the next sarcophagus.
That's it. I'm out.
Was there anything in that one?
Nope.
Just the trap. I'll take the next one.
All right, this one is made of iron. A half-elf female with wings. You open this one up, and it is empty, but there is no back to the sarcophagus. There is a very small chamber behind this sarcophagus. Inside, you see a chest.
Is it a chest that's like attached to the floor, or
It doesn't appear to be attached. It's a medium-sized chest, something you could pick up. It looks like it's locked.
I will drag it out to the room.
Okay, you can do so.
We got a locked chest here. Might you be able to take a look at this, Yasha?
Yeah, I was gonna say Drum looks over to Yesha and just
She's standing there, sort of blinking at you, singed a bit from the fire trap herself. She's almost cartoonishly got, soot on her face. Her hair's burned back a little bit. Okay. She is going to...
How bad is she looking? I mean, is she...
She lost a few hit points. She's... Given that she's not an adventurer, she's a little worse for wear. All right, so she's
be able to
well,
add some healing.
Yeah, you can heal her if you would like. She checks it for traps, discovers no traps, and then works at it with her tools, pops it open, revealing a small trove of 425 gold pieces, 45 platinum pieces, and a wand that Fig, you would recognize almost immediately because you have one of these. It is a wand of magic missiles. All right.
Did you say 45 platinum or 45 silver?
45 platinum. Who's opening the next? Griveth. That is going to be, let's see, you did that one. It is an iron sarcophagus with no carving depicted on it. Inside, you find a potion of superior healing. This is much like your standard healing potions, but in a larger and more ornate potion bottle. But yeah, potion. It's a potion. Potion of...
Hey guys, I found a potion.
A potion is supreme healing. Jeez. All right, we got another one here. Who's taking that one? Talmud again? Let's see. This one is made of stone, has an elven female holding a mace carved into the surface. And if you open this one up, you see... There you go. Where is it? I need you to make a at advantage. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, it's sitting pretty with an 18 plus cont 25.
Okay. You take 6 poison damage as a poisonous needle jams into you, and you are not going to be poisoned, though. You've resisted the poison.
Okay, and resistance. Okay, yeah. Because I have resistance for being a dwarf also.
Oh, so then you take 3.
Yeah. Does it stack like that?
Yes.
Or add twice?
Yep,
Sweet.
save,
Yeah, if you have resistance and you save, you take a quarter damage.
Quarter?
Yep.
Excellent. Ow! He just kind of like shrugs it off.
All right, on the other side of the door, that was the illusory one. There's just a couple more here. Who's taking this one? Fig?
Fig will. Yep.
Made of stone, a human female in robes. Opening it up, you see that it is empty.
He will look for a moment to see if the robes are nicer than his.
It's a carving. These are not, the descriptions are not people. They're just carvings. Are you checking to see if the carving is better dressed than you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, it is most definitely better dressed than you.
Then he will use his ability, I think, for the I don't know, I forget, a glamour, to make it look as close as he can to the carving, and then he will be quite pleased with himself.
Okay.
Was there anything in the one where Talmud got poisoned or didn't get poisoned?
Oh yeah, sorry. There actually was something else in there besides a poison trap. I missed that. There was a
just inconvenience.
There was a sapphire worth 200 gold pieces in that one. It suddenly takes the sting away a little bit.
Yeah.
Fig, do you choose your own colors for your new regalia, or is it completely stone colored because you made it look like the sarcophagus?
No, I still think that
I think Fig is smart enough to know not to just do that, but
and he just loves different colors. So it's just a rainbow of things that just don't look right together. Pinks and purples and warms and cools, just in this mess of colors. But at least the tailoring looks better now.
All right.
Mustard and pink. Bold.
Okay. Who's taking the next one?
I'll take it.
It's made of stone. A human male in chainmail. You pop this one open and it is empty. Last one that you have to explore. Who's taking that?
Oh, I'll do it.
All right. This one is made of iron and has a elven female, but she has no face.
Gross. All right.
You pop this one open, and I need you to
her
make
face.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
That is a mere 14.
6, 11, 12, 20 points of electricity damage. Of lightning damage. As electricity arcs through you as you open this unfortunately empty sarcophagus. But you have checked every sarcophagi, found every treasure, and every trap.
So it was lightning damage, no treasure?
No treasure.
Just pain.
The real treasure was the traps we triggered along the way. Reminder, this is your door. Well, this is the door that you haven't gone through. This is the door you came from. So you have 2 doors. I don't want to tell you which door to choose.
We made quite a ruckus, and I imagine it was more than a minute to go through all of these sarcophagi.
Oh, you've spent a good
And-
you've spent a good 20 minutes or more moving through these things.
And we have not seen return of said chased away spectral creatures. Do we want to take a short rest and heal up here, or do we want to move on?
I would think that we would be better off to backtrack to a room we're sure is clear and less likely for the spirits to return. But yes, that would be good.
So if your plan is to go rest up, I don't know why this particular map is missing this, but there's actually a wall here. They're all of the rooms you went through. This is the tapestry room. These are the various rooms you've explored. This room right here, this is where, as you stepped in, Thorgarn, you almost fell through the floor. Just so you know where that is.
Yeah, I want to avoid that place.
So where would you all like to go to take a short rest? There's a door.
Probably just one of those side rooms with nothing horrible in it.
So this room here, the only other door goes to where Thorgarn destroyed the altar, which would make it easy for you to keep an eye on the door. All these other doors have like 2 or 3, or rooms have 2 or 3 other doors. So your plan is to...
Yeah, that first one was fine.
Okay. I mean, I'm not... Yeah, it's wherever you want. I'm just... You have all of them.
Yep, that sounds like the way to go.
Okay. So, you're taking a long rest after...
Just a short.
Or, sorry, a short rest after a bit of a monk mummy fight. Though the specters were no real trouble. And a couple of you got singed a bit from some traps, or pricked, or zapped. But yes, that is where we are going to call it a night. I love that the Dawnbringers, facing so many doors, just spent 20 minutes searching another 20 doors. I'm going to have to go through and count up how many actual doors, including sarcophagi lids, are in the Nightfang Spire, because there's a
every
lot.
Sarcophagus counts.
Yep.
I just want everyone to appreciate that the author of this module wrote, 16 individual sarcophagus descriptions for this hallway?
Yeah. Yep. Every one of them is different. I have a full chart of all of them. Yeah. Incredible. Bruce Cordell wrote this one. All right. So, taking a short rest, and we will pick up again next week with episode 9. As yet untitled, but it'll have Dr. Faust Painting Clinic says 20 doors, 1 room. That is true. Counting the door in and the door out, plus all the sarcophagi. But in true D&D fashion, as you're crawling through this dungeon, you were picking up all kinds of treasure. By the way, I wanted to clarify, because we sort of didn't. You had talked about taking the tapestry with you. After everything that happened, would you still have gone and taken the tapestry? I see
I
head.
had no interest in messing with that
I
tapestry.
see head shaking.
I would say no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I don't know why you don't want the tapestry that just pulled you into another plane, but hey. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who hung out with us tonight. There's been quite a few of you just hanging out and watching the stream with us, and that's awesome. And I've seen quite a few, I'm seeing a few new faces here in the chat. So that's awesome. If you haven't already, hit that follow button. And if you're feeling generous or you're connected to Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription every month. Why not use it for a mini terrain domain? But no obligation. Hit that follow button. so you can see when we go live. With all of our games, you can type !schedule to see our schedule of games. Barring any last-minute complications or cancellations, this Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern will be the finale, Session 71 of Tomb of Annihilation campaign that myself and I'm the DM, M is a player, along with our friends Mike and Connor and Karen. That campaign is ending after 3 years and 8 months, 71 episodes, over 210 hours of gameplay. And I think we discussed this recently. For all of us, it's the longest campaign we've ever been a part of, for any of us. So it's very
awesome.
exciting. We'll be wrapping up at level 15. And we do have plans to 6 months, a year down the road, revisit those characters and take them all the way up to level 20. But we have taken from level 1. We started with level 1 characters in Tomb of Annihilation, and M and Mike's characters are the only 2 original players, and they are both playing their original characters. The same cannot be said for Connor. He's on his second or third character, and we've had a couple of players that cycled in and have left for various reasons. I think our character count is like 8, but it's very exciting, and I wanted to share that. I will also be, speaking of finales, I'll be over on Satine Phoenix's Gilding Light channel on Sunday afternoon. You won't see me. I'll be behind the scenes. I'm producing Soul Searching, that Lily Sparks is the GM of. It's a really cool magical girl transformation D&D 5e adventure. Lily is an amazing GM, and Satine is doing some really cool things with a bunch of women DMs that she's been featuring on the channel lately. And I'm excited to be a part of that as a producer. So that's really cool. And then, yeah, just stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of really cool, great stuff happening throughout the summer. In fact, there's cool stuff happening this weekend. I know Jeremy's got a game going on his channel tomorrow night on Erasmus Expeditions. You'll want to check that out, but you're going to want to tune in to the D&D official Twitch channel. It's just DND. Tomorrow and Saturday. Is there anything on Sunday, Dan? I can't remember. Or is it just through Saturday?
I believe it's just through Saturday.
Okay. Day 2 and day 3 of the D&D Live, where they just announced the Rime of the Frost Maiden, the new adventure book coming out later this fall, along with a lot of other really cool stuff. Not a sponsor, but hey, it's really cool. And you may see that adventure show up here on Mini Terrain Domain in the future. You will definitely see it. So again, huge thank you to everybody in the chat. Really appreciate, especially those who, I appreciate all of you, even if you don't participate. If you're lurking and you just listen, you just watch, that's awesome. We appreciate you. And thank you to those who subscribed or followed during the stream. We appreciate that as well. And of course, a huge thank you to Scotty, Dan, V, M, Ted, and Jeremy. I love you guys. You are my refuge, especially today. I needed this game, and this was a lot of fun. And yes, just a huge thank you to these 6 amazing players, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for 3 hours. So with that, we are going to end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
No. The dog?